Kiss. Oh, that was cute. Serious stank breath in this group, guys. It's not bad, but when it's collective, it's like extra potent. Just
see how sweet she is? See?
Lovely. Gushy faces.
Come on. Now everybody can see my ass again. Right? This is embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah. Here we go.
In 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Toronto Dogcast. Here with me today is our own Modern Day Dolittle Meg.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Speaking to the microphone.
So we're both very excited. Meg was on the podcast.
Are you speaking for me too now? We're both very
Okay, I'm very excited. Meg is kind of not looking forward to this too much. So today we're going to be doing a little bit more of an in-depth view of the process that you go through for reading. Mm-hmm. And we're going to do a reading with this little munchkin here.
Yeah.
Right? And
we already did one. So
we
we're
already did one. And so we're going to talk about that process and some of your insights that you got using that incredible gift of yours. And then we're going to take a look at some stones.
Yeah, we're going to look at some stones and their metaphysical properties.
Some healing stones, spirit stones. What were the stones?
I don't know. I like to just leave them at crystals and stones. They all have different properties, and they can be great for working with your pets and figuring out what they need. And sometimes they'll let you know based on which stones they like.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So it's going to be really cool and really interesting. Because I think a lot of people are going to be really curious as to your process. So Meg does readings in a number of different ways.
Yes.
So do you want to just review those options just to remind people?
Yeah, so I can do it I can do it in person, which seems probably like the most... People like that. They like the experience.
Yeah.
They like...
It's tactile.
Yeah, it's tactile. And in the world of materialism and seeing is believing and touching is knowing that it exists, there's something that makes it more tangible and tactile. For them, they love the in-person. It's an experience too, right? Second layer would be a phone conversation. So them and I get to have a two-way dialogue about their animal. Mm-hmm. They are very much part of the conversation as much as the animal is. And then the other option is email. And people think, well, that's really bizarre because don't you need to see the animal? Don't you need to have it in person? Not true. You don't need any of that. I actually don't need any of it. In fact, I don't even need a photo. How that works is there's 3 upfront prescribed questions that they get to ask. And then I do the reading and I send them the dialogue as we did.
Yeah.
And then they get 2 more follow-up because there's always follow-up.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And sometimes there might be more, but it seems like 5 questions in totals is good. And you saw how much comes out.
Oh, yeah,
like
tons.
And that's why I'm like, if it's flowing, and I'm a writer by trade, so like if I can just have the one-on-one communication with the animal, and there's no interruption, say from you. No, but truly, like, if it's a 3-way conversation.
Helps you concentrate.
It helps, and I just get to go back and forth, and I'll know when there's more detail required, or like, let's unpack that a little bit more. I try not to go too far, because if the question is really, is really broad, we can go down a rabbit hole. So I've had to really get people to be more specific.
Yeah.
And to give, and like I said, ask the question, but give a statement or 2 to frame the question.
Context.
A little context.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're answering the question for me and I'm not able to connect with the animal. I just need to frame it a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's
makes sense.
The beauty of email is for distance and for you to read and reread. Because a lot of people are like, whoa, hold on, give me a second. I need to really digest this.
Okay, so we were talking about the benefits of email readings and the convenience in terms of long distances, different time zones, and just your ability to focus and concentrate and really hear what the animals are saying to you. And we did it for Georgie. Did you want to get into... So the structure is you get 3 questions from the animal owner.
Yeah. You're the owner in this case because you're the guardian or owner. I think that's a good way of putting
Guardian.
it. Foster, guardian, owner, like
Family.
as long as you know you're currently the primary, and that's how the dog understands
Caretaker.
it too. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get three questions with a bit of context.
Yeah.
So that you're able to understand what the questions are about, and then you write out
the dialogue.
The dialogue between yourself and the animal.
Yeah, and it can get pretty lengthy.
I was blown away by how much information was in.
Well, they can convey a lot, and it takes me and them to kind of work together in ways to see where we need to unpack things. Because what I hate is for you to come back and say, I would have really loved to know more about this. And then I could have gone there really easily and quickly and kind of gotten that information already. So sometimes I'll add my own questions in. Sometimes they'll answer questions before I even actually ask them. Mm-hmm. Just because as soon as I'm reading the question, I'm basically asking them. So sometimes in the first question, they'll answer questions 2 and 3.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of unpack it a little bit more. So I'd say the average email reading is like 1,000, more closer to 2,000 now.
Wow.
And then there's the 2 follow-up questions. Some people, I'd like to ask more questions, and that's okay, and we can figure something out. But I think once you see how much is coming out of the email, it's quite powerful. And the value of being able to read and reread and digest, and it's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, so, and go back to it later on after you've had some time to internalize
and
the message.
That's actually, I find the email readings for people whose animals have passed are really important because they actually get to sit down and think, what do they want to ask?
Yes.
Right? And it's a huge healing process for them too. And there's a woman that just apologized. It was so neat. She just apologized for her delay in sending me the questions. I said, don't apologize. And I said, you know what's really interesting is that if you're into numbers and signs, I said, you know what's really interesting is that this email is timestamped 11/11 when it came in. Oh. And 11/11 means you're on your path. You're on your sense of path and purpose. And I said, no, if there's more things going on here, it's perfectly timed. Don't apologize. Let's see what comes out of it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's just like a really neat process as long as you're watching for the things to come through. So, so when we did our reading together, you basically went through the steps. And that's what we wanted, something really organic and authentic, because so much as you'd known so far was just that I can do this and how I do it and the nuts and bolts behind the scenes, but you never actually experienced it firsthand. So when I reached out to you, you said, or I'd said, first 3 questions, why not one for Mosley, Mackenzie, and Georgie? And you go, no, I want all of them for Georgie. Well, of course you would, because you know these guys so well. This is your latest, I want to say project. Because she's a project. She knows it too. She goes, I'm a project. Yeah. And a really good one because you're doing so good. She's so mouthy. She loves to hold on to me. And so, so then we went off and... because obviously I'm no. It's, I didn't mean to. I was actually wiping my hand off on you. Really discreetly.
People are just like, ooh, dog slobber. Here's Joe's already covered in dog slobber. He's covered in dog fur. Everything else.
That was so funny.
His beard smells like
I don't think that's actually going to be on camera, but I just felt like first sense of our conversation.
Like, there you go.
Here.
It's okay. I'm pretty much covered in dog-related paraphernalia anyway. Like, it just is what it is. So the thing is with Georgie, I'm really focused on helping the healing, helping her to move on, and helping her to find herself, because this is a new opportunity for her in her lifetime, and it's an opportunity for a fresh start and lots of stuff. So I was very curious and intrigued with what you had to say, and it's really, really valuable, especially with a stressful situation. I don't want to say stressful like in a bad way, because fostering a dog is a wonderful thing, and I really encourage people to foster dogs if you have the ability to do so. I wasn't planning on fostering Georgie, but when life gives you an opportunity to make a difference, that's what this channel is all about. That's what the podcast is all about, is being able to help dogs. And I'd be a hypocrite if I wasn't actively participating in that type of thing as much as I could. So with Georgie, I was more concerned to get questions for her than Mosley and Mackenzie, because let's face it, they're pretty much in a good place as far as they tell me. So why don't we go over the 3 questions that I sent you as the initial, as well as the context to be the email reading for Georgie.
Yeah. Okay, so the first question was, and I reposition the questions as if I'm third person asking. So I say, Georgie, Joe worries that people will judge you or not consider you for adoption because of your past. And, what is your response to that? So sometimes it's a statement, sometimes it's not a question. It's just, what do you have to say to that? Oh, and then you say she had some, do you want me to actually read all of it? About the fear-based dog aggression? So she had being past tense.
Yep.
Some serious fear-based dog aggression issues that are featured in videos on my channel. And then what is your response to that? The second question is, Georgie, do you feel bad about being given up by your family? And then the third one is, Georgie, are your bratty bad habits going to come back after you leave the comforts and structure of my foster home? Okay, so, and it says, and then you elaborate, it says, it took me a couple of weeks to get her out of her many bad habits, including counter surfing, jumping, nipping, stealing food, chewing everything, eating sticks, etc. So, what were some of your, we can do kind of a reflective back and forth, what of that did you find resonated? Even just about that. And the very first thing I do is I ask them if they can tell me about themselves, which is part of my process.
Okay.
I say, Georgie, please tell me about yourself. And so that's when she says I can be very bashful and sweet, but also cunning and sly. So she knows how to work a room, so to speak. I have the strength and stamina to hold my own and not back down. I love being in a pack with someone that can lead me and teach me. I've never been given such guidance, and I crave both the structure and consistency as much as I love the affection. I've been without both of these things my life until now. My power and energy is difficult to manage, and my stubborn, quote, I know better attitude has had us, being you and her, butting heads at times. I will be defiant one minute, but soft, approachable, and amicable the next. The unpredictability has caused many to be weary and reluctant to keep me around. So much so that I've even scared people into not wanting to be near me because they don't know what to expect from me.
Yeah.
I'm confused because they are confused, and they don't know what they are doing. I try to show them, but they don't understand, and I just end up getting myself into trouble. This trouble led me to being passed around here. So she's saying here, this is the building, right? So she's feeling passed around into a different home. My anxiety worsened, and I became more and more defensive, not sure who to trust, who to listen to, and you truly loved me enough to work with me in a way that I needed. And this, I loved her ball of yarn analogy. Did you,
Yeah.
It just, she's showing me this, right? So I'm trying to articulate a ball of yarn.
Yeah.
It's like when a ball of yarn starts to tangle and tangle, and what was a small tangled mess becomes a huge ball of tangles and knots with no sign of stopping. It's just snowballing.
Yeah.
Just the sight of untangling the ball of yarn looks like a daunting task, and thereby nobody wants it. That is me, but I have someone who has you are the someone who has taken me in and is spending so much time and energy on me, and I'm starting to unravel in a good way. But I have to say that doesn't mean as the knots tangles come undone. It is a seamless undoing. Sometimes you go the wrong way and create more of a tangle. I felt that when she was saying, as you untangle something, you tangle it a bit more before you... It's a beautiful analogy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, I digress, but do you want to speak to how that feels for you?
Yeah, that's it resonated with me quite a lot because Georgie's a difficult dog to should preface it with, when dogs are going through adolescence, it is the most difficult time to have a dog. Between,
so you would say her age is adolescent?
She's adolescent for sure, 100%.
Okay.
And it's very you need a tremendous amount of patience. So it's very easy to go down a path of one thing gets worse and then another thing gets worse and then you get frustrated and then they get scared or whatever the case may be. It's very difficult to ride out that period and be able to come out on the other side with a well-balanced, well-behaved dog. So the analogy that she made with you, that you provided to me in your reading, really resonated because she sees it happening too. You know, she understands that it's happening, but it's very difficult for her to stop. So
I'm going to interrupt you because I'm getting something.
Okay.
So what I'm understanding is that it's the layers, and I think that has come up before in our conversation before we kind of started going on air. In that she's got layers because she's being passed around at such an early age and going through adolescence and having, let's say, not such a firm structure under her feet to begin with in terms of her training and her care and things like that. Let's be honest, like call a spade a spade. This is a dog that's very smart and has a lot of potential, but the potential hasn't been steered in the right way. So she's just acknowledging, like, I have lots of layers. Like, I'm just seeing like a layered, almost like a cake. I'm sweet, but like, don't taste so good right now.
That definitely makes a lot of sense. And dogs are complicated, just like we are. They're not as simple as this dog is friendly, or this dog is aggressive, or this dog is this, or this dog is that. So even Mosley, Mosley is a fantastic dog, but when he was going through adolescence, his nickname was the Energizer Bunny because he wouldn't stop. Yeah. And he would go and go and go, and people would sometimes get frustrated with him because he was always on. And it's exhausting. Anybody who has kids, I don't have kids, right? I have nieces and nephews, so I've experienced part of it, but anybody who has kids understands the challenges that you go through when kids become mobile and they become toddlers and they're all over the place and the rest of it. When dogs get into adolescence like Georgie, that's when all their problems start to really become more serious because they're not little puppies anymore. Now they're full-grown, early adolescent
and
dogs.
The power behind them, right? And the cognition, because they're really understanding more, but the behaviors that have been imprinted on them are there.
Yeah, and they challenge. Yeah. They challenge not just the family that they're living with, they also want to challenge themselves. They also want to challenge other dogs. It's completely natural behavior. It's kind of like they're figuring out what they're capable of. Yeah. Like what she told you in her reading was a really nice way of putting it. Yeah, that helped me understand.
Just so, this is the first time I met Georgie, right? Yes. I've seen photos of her. I don't know when you talk about the video. I never watched those ones, so I'll have to go back and watch them.
It's just
but like I don't really need all that extra context. Sometimes it actually throws me off too. So I just go in cold. Okay, so then the first question was, Joe worries that people will judge you, not consider you for adoption because of your past. She's had some serious fear-based dog aggression issues that were featured on this is where she mentions the video, or you mentioned the videos. But she's very clear, and I think right off the bat, she's talking to you in a way that's like, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. It's not my fear. That's yours. And she kind of really asserts herself. So she says, people will judge me not for my past, but for my present. What does my past have to do with it? And she's like, literally, like, what does it have to do with it? So long as I can present myself as consistent and reliable in my actions and behaviors, then I will be adopted and quickly. You have a lot of people around you watching and they see my progress. There are some dog people out there that love me and my size, and they are waiting and watching patiently to see how you work with me. It is a test for both of us. You don't know who they are, but they have eyes on your videos. And have not reached out, but they will. The word about me is getting around. My test will come to see if what you're teaching me will stick, and I know what's on the other side. And so I'm working just as hard as you are to unravel this big mess of yarn, and quickly, because inside is the real me, a gem of a dog that is obedient, loyal, and just needs a good, strong leader in my life to keep me on track.
And I think the other thing, in terms of her running on, because I think maybe she wasn't really listened to. Like, she was crying for attention, but in a negative way. You know how some people, or some dogs even, they want attention. It's hard to get the good attention, but the bad attention's very easy, right? So I'm going to be mischievous. I'm going to be
You do whatever you
naughty,
need to do to get the mic.
You're going to pay attention to me.
Yeah.
One of the things that we didn't discuss that I'd be interested in, and you made a comment on this when you first came in, is Georgie does have a significant scar on her thigh. Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Because she had that scar before her previous family had her, and they don't know where it came from. And I'm just wondering what your insights would be on that, and maybe if it has contributed to her issues, or if it's not a big deal at all, and she just like itches it once in a while, and it's like she doesn't care.
She's very cognizant of the fact that it's there. It's like not like it doesn't disable her or keep her from doing anything functionally. Like, it's just a topical scar. So, but what the lasting effect, I think what's more important here is sometimes they have scars, and is it something that, so I'm going to ask Georgie, is it something that has held you back, caused you fear, caused you trauma? No.
Really?
Nothing. It very acknowledging of it because the hair hasn't grown back on it.
Yeah.
So it is just like, I'm just getting the same parallel. You know, little kids that have a scar from their little, and it's like a slice through their eyebrow, and the hair never grows, and it always looks like there's a scar through the eyebrow. Same. Like, she's like, okay, if you touch it, she'll notice it because she's only a year, right?
Year and a half.
Year and a half. Okay. She's like, look at it. It's very, very exposed, and it's a battle wound, but it's not as glamorous as story. Sorry, love.
I basically want to prep her as best as possible for her next soul contract.
Yes, I love that you call it a soul contract because that's the exact words.
I'm very educated.
Yeah.
I pay attention. I'm a good student.
Yeah.
Meg is a great teacher.
Yeah. What does that mean? What does a soul contract mean?
Soul contract is when an animal and a human. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Human. Agree to spend part of their lives together.
Interact. Could be mild or very significant in ways.
And it could move on.
Yeah.
So Georgie's looking for her next soul contract. Yeah. We have a soul contract in the meantime while I'm fostering her.
Yeah.
And what I'm working on is what I'm doing is I'm placing myself in the position of, okay, if I was the average person looking to adopt a dog, what would I want? So I'm working on off leash, I'm working on all the day-to-day practical things of, feeding her, giving her treats so she's not taking things and not getting into too much trouble. It is starting to curb because I'm replacing all of her mischief with other productive things for her to do. I'm going to be borrowing a backpack and strapping that onto her.
Make her a working dog,
Yeah, so when she goes to her new home, her new forever home, I've done as much as I can to prepare her so that the transition is really positive and as easy as possible for her, so that they can spend more time taking her for walks and playing and doing fun stuff with her rather than doing the work of, okay, this dog is counter surfing and how do we fix that? So I want them to focus on really fun activities, and that's primarily why people want a dog, is they want to do all the fun stuff. They don't want to deal with some of the other stuff.
So in the reading, Georgie talks about a she. There being like a she energy.
Yes.
Now we all carry masculine and feminine energy, so it could be, and that's very normal to carry that. Everyone carries that. So, but Georgie talks about there being like a female that's going to come and adopt her, and I think this actually, I think she gave me this information to give you comfort. because you're so worried about Joe. And this is like a lot of we can read a little bit more of the communication, but a lot of what she talks to me about is a lot about you, and you're projecting your stuff on her, which is okay, Joe. It's okay. That's normal. It's part and parcel.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is that there's a woman that seems like she's already kind of got her sights on, like, there being this female energy that's going to come, and that's going to actually have a really good handle on the temperament of dog that Georgie is and the behaviors that she exhibits. And this woman's going to be really invested and want to take everything you've done and understand it. Where is she at? Where is she been? Not fearful about Georgie's past, because she's going to see Georgie for who she is in the moment, in real time, and be like, I love this dog. She's got such great bones and great structure for future, and she's already great. Like, you've already taken her. But I said to you when I came in the house, Georgie's 50% of the way there, and you're like, she's even further. Yeah. So, like, boom, done. And that's the kind of confidence that you need to absorb into her, because she's mirroring you. So as her primary right now, you need to make sure you keep up this. She's, if she's being rejected, it's for the right reasons. Okay?
Yeah. And you're 100% right. And what I coach people on, and I guess I'm a bit of I'm human too. Right?
Yes,
so
of course. Yeah.
Theory is always wonderful, but practice is a lot more difficult, because it's very, when you're really passionate about dogs, it's going to impact you as much as it's not a healthy thing. So to your point,
I feel that
move on is the most important thing.
Yes.
Don't dwell on those negative feelings or anxieties or worry.
Isn't it funny? We won't mention, our conversation yesterday in detail, but from a high level, in terms of learnings, isn't it paralleling in ways?
Yeah, totally.
Wouldn't you say? Because here's someone looking to the future and saying, like, let's move that past stuff out of the way. Let's look at now and the future. And let's make room for something better. So each opportunity that comes along that is you think it's a missed opportunity? No, it was never meant to be. So let's just keep going and let's find something better. Let's make room for something better. But I do think she came to you at a certain time to, like, teach you lessons. And that's why a lot of this conversation is a lot about you. And I don't know if that really resonated with you.
Yeah, it said to me, you're lapsing on your self-awareness. Like, normally I'm No. You're being too hard on yourself right now. You're seeing, like, how I can do better. You're developing your gift, right? You're getting better at it. I'm not saying that you've mastered it, right? And you're going to continue to improve, and you're going to continue to be a perpetual student. That's my take on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? So I'm not saying that Meg is the guru of all things animal communication, but I think you are, like, your ability to do what you do is really special, and it comes naturally to you, and it's something that when you read what you have communicated from the animal's perspective, it really helps, and it resonates, and it's done really, really well and with a lot of care. It's not, you can tell that a lot of effort has gone into it and a lot of thought has gone into it. It's not like a generic response. Do you know what I mean?
No, but it's not mine.
It's very bespoke.
It's not mine.
But you're still able to facilitate that.
Yeah, I'm the hands. I'm the one that needs to know how to put a sentence together and how to understand the vocabulary that's coming through. And I'm the vessel. So, it's only as fine-tuned as your tools are that you can use them to communicate or construct what it is you want. In my case, it's a message that's being constructed, and I'm the tool. So as sharp as the tools are, I can only do better for the animals, right? Well, because I'm quite structured. I say, what is the animal's first name? What is the animal's last name? What is the species? Is it here or past? Because I don't want to play that guessing game.
And I think we should also mention, like, you have it all organized in a form. So when you're doing an email reading, you're providing, here's the information that I need, and here it is in a very detailed way. Is this captivating your mind as well?
I just pulled a dog moment.
This is the best thing ever. So I was holding the ball for Mosley, and I put it out there. All of a sudden, I see Meg go, oh. What is that lime green object?
I became captivated by the ball, and I lost my train of thought. I literally was about to go.
You should have seen your face. It was great. It's just like, oh, that's pretty.
This is my life.
This is great.
I'm still a high-functioning human being.
I know.
But I am at moments I'm not. I'm late for everything now. Oh, it's terrible.
It's okay.
It's okay.
You know why you're not late for everything? Because the party doesn't start till 9 o'clock.
Oh.
You like that one? This is like straight out of the 80s, that one. It's like, I'm never late because the party doesn't start till I show up.
Till I walk in.
So why don't we talk about these things? So
these things.
Sorry. Take two. So we reviewed a lot of the methodology and a lot of the benefits and some of the interesting things that can come out of email readings and some of the things that you've learned over your experiences communicating with animals. And I would recommend it to anybody who's interested and open-minded.
Yes, open-minded and open-hearted.
Right? Because there's a responsibility for the person that's participating to get value out of it. They really need to open their mind to it.
Yeah. And as much as, people vet me, I vet them. For example, when I get a DM, people go, I'm interested, but I want to know why I would want to talk to my animal.
So they want you to prove that they should speak to
their
animal?
I have to convince them, I guess.
But shouldn't they already intuitively understand that?
Well, I think, why would you ask me that why would you want to engage me and then ask me that question? So then I think, oh, maybe this isn't the best fit. I mean, I'll kind of explain it, but I'll paraphrase it, and so that I can kind of move on to something that feels like more of a fit. So as much as people are vetting me, I'm vetting them. Because I want to make sure I don't want to go down that rabbit hole and all of a sudden 10 steps before I actually knew that this might not be good. Because I got nothing to prove. Like, I just have a gift, and I want to share it, and I want to share it with people that it's going to resonate with, because that's the beautiful thing about it.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, it's healthy to be skeptical. Like, I'm a skeptic.
Yeah.
The raw food thing is, like, the best example.
Yeah.
So I've started really getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing research for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so for somebody who's going to be interested in communicating with their animals, I mean, I'll admit it, I was skeptical at first. And,
I think I'm rubbing off on you a little bit.
Everybody rubs
off. You're not 100%
you literally
there yet.
rub off on me.
Yeah, I'm like wiping my hands on you.
Yeah, but you can, if you're open to new experiences, you're also opening your mind to learning more about yourself and your animals. So that's a positive thing.
You hit the nail on the head with learning about yourself, because a lot of people come to me and they don't expect to hear about themselves. They expect to hear about the animal.
Yeah.
But there's a beautiful thing happening between you and Georgie for why she's coming in now. Like, look what you're up to. Look at this project. There's going to be a lot of rejection. There's going to be a lot of, like, I'm not sure about this. That is normal. And she's working on getting past her rejection.
You're right. So when you're communicating with somebody's animal, there's an opportunity to also learn about yourself and to...
Sometimes whether you want to or not. But they won't give you what you can't handle. I do believe that. They'll hold back if they feel like... Totally. I told you, I said this in the last conversation we had, is that they can go surface level. It's like, my dog happy? Do they want more treats? Basic. And then, but if you want to go deep with them, they'll go. They'll take you there. And they'll share, why am I here? What is my purpose? Like, stuff like that.
Here's the thing. If you are open to learning more about your animal, if you're open to learning more about yourself, sometimes it's a matter of acknowledging certain things. In terms of, I didn't want to acknowledge my worry or heartache about Georgie's situation because it's not healthy for her. Of course, it's not healthy for me, and it's not going to do anybody any good. But you can't help feeling not sorry. It's not a feeling of sorry. It's a heartache. It's like my heart literally hurts for her because she doesn't understand what's going on. I mean, maybe she does to a certain degree.
Yeah, she absolutely does.
She does.
Yeah. See, this is where you're not fully there yet because you just said that.
No, I know.
You're still working on it. It's okay because the behavioralist in you needs to really rationalize, and you need to analyze and psychoanalyze a lot of stuff. It's okay. That's just part of you. But you're very. I see you as both half. You've got this huge intuitive because you couldn't do what you did. You've done with her without some intuition of understanding her and quickly, right? And the other part is practice trained, analyzing of the situation. So you're good. You're a cool mix. It's great.
I like to dabble.
Yeah.
A little bit of both. But it's good. It's good to be reminded of, hey, look, Georgie doesn't want you to worry about these things. And it's one of those things where it's like you should be taking your own freaking advice. And
yeah, a lot of it's projected right back at you in that dialogue.
Totally. Which helps a lot.
You're like, it helps, but I wasn't looking for a psychiatrist session.
Sometimes it's tough to hear the truth. And it's tough to face up to what you're doing and to say, okay, it's perfectly fine to experience those emotions. It's perfectly acceptable and very human to experience pain and to experience heartache, and it's coming from a good place. However, ... Move forward.
Feel it.
Acknowledge it.
Acknowledge it and move forward.
And then move forward because that's what's going to get you to the place that is going to bring you joy and happiness. Yeah. So for Georgie, I want her to have a forever home. I want somebody to see her the way I see her. So I don't pretend that she isn't without fault. I don't sit there and go, she's a perfect dog and the rest of it. However, since I pulled back the fear, since I pulled back the anxiety, and really gotten to know her,
superimposing that on her,
really got to know her in a different way without all those things. It's lovely getting to know her, and I was really pleasantly surprised at who she really was underneath all that anxiety and fear and aggressive symptoms and the rest of it. So that part was really great. And it's not like I'm in a rush. I just want it for her. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you want somebody to be happy, like really, really in the core of your heart.
But enjoy the learning opportunity why she's here with you now. Because she won't finish her soul contract with you until she's ready. And simultaneously that other one will come. So it's actually a graduation for both of you. Because she's going to impose the learnings on you. And she'll stay here as long as she needs to do that. Right? And then, I want to say magically, it's not magic. It's just like the stars will align for this new person to come in. Because we talked about the soul contracts, they can come in as like your primary, like Mackenzie and Mosley. You're their primary owner. Or they can come in just for, like, as a dog walker, and they see them on occasion. Or, in your case, as foster home and temporary vacation and learning. It's like a learning vacation. So... yeah,
she is having fun.
Yeah, so...
she's having a good time.
I'll say this about her, is that she's got an undertone of sass, and she's got an undertone of I'm my own woman kind of thing, independent, but she's willing to be molded and she's willing to learn. And the extra behavioral stuff that can be corrected, it's going away, and it's going away really quickly. So she's got who wouldn't want a dog with personality? Right? If you're gonna behaviorally try and correct personality, good luck, first of all.
No.
That doesn't even happen.
No. So what happens is the behavioral work that I do with dogs, it takes away all of the circumstances that are creating a barrier to them to showing who they really are. So the fear is what people see. The aggression in terms of they're expressing their fear and aggressive behavior, that's what people see. And they aren't able to see the dog's true personality because they look at the behavior and see it as the.
So hold on, I want you to reframe the way you're saying that, because you're saying they as in people, as in collectively, as in everyone.
No,
yeah, exactly. So you have to pause and say some people, not the right one yet though, because the right one is going to see it, and it's going to be as clear as day. It's going to be as clear as you see it. Yes. So that's when you see that lock and key situation happen, and it's just perfect symmetry and synchronicity and all that.
Yeah, you're right. So I shouldn't say they. I should say a lot of people perceive a dog's behavior as their personality. So if there's something wrong, for example, if a dog is fearful, nervous, anxious, whatever the case may be, and expresses that through symptoms, and that's what people see, they assume some people assume that that's the personality of a dog. And what's really interesting is Georgie is able to express her personality because she doesn't have to worry about the fear or the aggression or anything else. So that's wonderful.
Okay, thank you. So I just want to say sideways. Will Georgie's next soul contract allow her to forgive the pain of the past so she will forgive her family for giving her up? Okay. My next soul contract will only be possible once our work is complete and I'm ready to move on. But I think we kind of touched on that.
Yes,
right?
we did.
You're teaching me and I am teaching you. I have a lot to teach you, though you may have only noticed it now through this dialogue. It has been a very nice partnership and we have both benefited greatly. The next soul contract has me very excited and awaiting our meeting, but I understand the pieces that must come together so that I can present myself in a way that gets their attention, and there's no doubt in their mind that I am the dog they have been looking for. I will always remember my journey. I see it as my old self and my new self. I am so appreciative that you've helped change me. Just the level of dedication and attention you give me each day has lessened the pain of my past. When I graduate to my next owner, the pain will reduce still, and I will continue to heal in ways that shock you for years from now. Interesting. I will miss you, and I will have a hard time transitioning as I don't like to be passed around and made to start new again. That I will always find hard because it brings up the past and triggers me. My next person will need to understand my past as much as possible because it will help her work with me that much better. She will appreciate the detailed, this is the she energy. She will appreciate the detailed understanding because she is knowledgeable about dogs like me with temperament and issues, and really care a whole lot, a really big heart.
All right, so we have some lovely crystals.
Yeah.
And
and it's nice with the sun coming in. I wonder if we can kind of get
glinting.
that. And this one's almost like a heart shape.
I
love this one.
This is a little bit more opaque.
Yeah, that one's rose quartz.
So these are crystals. Crystals, correct?
Yeah.
And these are natural formations that come from the earth.
Yeah, exactly.
And they assist. Can I?
Do you smell?
No.
That was in Rue's water bowl, by the way, so just...
It's okay.
I mean, it's not like
I'm covered in dog stuff anyway.
It's funny because you smelled it. I was like, does it smell like Rue's water bowl? What is that?
Maybe the dogs are just rubbing off on me because it's just like,
See that? They gravitate to it. Rue really likes to lick this one. And Mosley just gave a lick for a non-licker.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you can't have it.
So, I'll just, I'll mention this one's amethyst, this beautiful purple. It's quite a big piece, but you don't have to get them nearly as big. That one's a rose quartz. So amethyst.
Rose quartz, okay.
Amethyst is great for protection, clearing the crown chakra, just good energy balancing. I love this piece. The way I pick my stones is I just see what gravitates, right? And then I like the color. The rose quartz is really good for emotional balancing. It's good for love and peacefulness and forgiveness and just all around good feelings. And so, so many things you can do. So why stones? Why with your animals? Is the metaphysical properties. So as much as they work for us, they work for them. Yeah, look, they're all coming to say hi. You like that? No. I know I said no to you just because you can't eat it. Rose quartz is great. Like I said, I put it in Rue's drinking water. if your dog is a rock diver or likes to chew and gnaw or like is a Georgie that might consume it, many dogs are, don't leave them out. Don't even leave them away in a cupboard. For God's sake, lock them up. Do you know what I mean? And take them out when you want to. What I'll do is I'll put about like 3 or 4 of them and I'll see which ones Rue wants to gravitate to.
So Rue is your dog.
Oh, Rue is my Rue. I mean, my dog.
Rue is my Rue. Yes, Rue is your Rue.
3 letters get kind of confusing when
there's
you
only one Rue. Rue the rescue.
Yes, what do you think? Yeah. The rose quartz they quite love. It's really good energy. No, you can't have that, Lovey. I'll put it in her drinking water. And she drinks like she's trying to get to it just to see what it is. And she's always looking like, what is that down there?
So you can use this to help.
Yeah.
So there's different types of crystals and stones for different
with different
purposes.
Properties. Yeah.
Like they do different things.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll lay them out.
What?
So that one's like protection and clearing energy. It's good with the crown chakra. So you know the different chakras through the body. It's the crown chakras in your head.
I don't know the different chakras.
Okay. We won't go into it.
You're asking the wrong
But that one has different properties for this one, and this one is like, you know, peaceful, loving, emotional balancing, forgiveness. It's just like really warm and cozy. This is the one that I recommend putting in a bucket of their drinking water. But I was saying about Rue is I'll lay them out, and it's a fun thing. Yeah, and like see which one she nudges with her nose, and then I'll just use them on her. I'll just like rub them on her. I'm not. You can take courses on crystals. You can do all kinds of fun stuff, but I don't. I
gotta say, the dogs are completely fascinated.
Yeah, when I think once they come out, they're like, "What is this?" I mean, yeah, they're definitely thinking this is something. See, Mosley gets it. Mosley's like, "Okay, I'll just lick it, just leave it." Yeah, there we go. You really like the rose quartz. So this one, I just be like, "Okay, here, we'll just like okay.
touch it to them."
Yeah, and just see. Sometimes I'll just like, yeah, it's quite nice, eh? Sometimes they're like, what is going on? And then they get into it. It's just like clearing their energy. You know, when you first start doing it, they're like, this isn't a proper pet. Like, what are you doing?
It's different.
So crystals are just like,
tool.
Another, I call it preventative medicine. It's like a DIY. So like clearing their energy. And I bet you it makes you feel better too when you do it, doesn't it? Like you've done something for them. You're like, here, let me do this for you.
Absolutely. And I was saying about, so I just did a video on making your own raw food.
Yeah.
And during the process of filming, what I found to be really amazing is that I felt like I was actually demonstrating my love when I was doing it.
Oh, good.
Because to make, so like let's say your mom makes you your favorite meal.
Yeah.
Right? That's love. Like you can literally see
made with love.
So it's made with love. So one of the there's a lot of downsides to making your own diet for your dog, but one of the things that I loved the most, which was a complete surprise, is that it just felt like I was doing something for my dogs to show them that I love them. Mm-hmm. It took time. It took effort. It was a bit messy and stuff like that. And
it's therapeutic for you too, right? Because you're doing it. You feel so good doing it for them. Yeah, I love that. That's so great. So like same with crystals.
With these crystals, it's the same kind of concept.
And you know what? The way I work is I just if I see a stone that I really love the color of, I usually end up getting it for myself, but then I later learn, oh gosh, this is good for my animal too, which is, it's not. So that's what I would recommend is going with what you see. If say you go into a store and there are stores with like hundreds of crystals and you're like, whoa, this is crazy. And then something catches your eye. Check out what the properties are, see if it resonates with you. Sometimes I'll buy it and then I'll read it later and go, oh my God, what a lining up of what I needed, right? Like, oh my God, that was so cool. But also Google, and I am not the expert in terms of crystals. I know about crystals. I like to use them. I can give you advice, whatever it may be. Do a Google, do a search, ask someone, read a book. There are stones that are not good.
Really?
For animals, yes.
Bad for animals.
Yeah, malachite, it's a beautiful, beautiful green stone. You think it's green or like this is turquoise, but it's like green. It's gorgeous. not used for
Not
animals. No. So you don't be silly, and especially don't let them ingest them. Like, put them away.
Is she saying something to me right now? She's like looking at me. Please don't break
I'm
those.
hungry. I'm looking for some
No.
treats.
Oh.
She's got very clean teeth.
Yeah,
Incredibly.
the dogs get raw bones. So even with their previous diet, I always gave them raw bones to keep their teeth clean.
Yeah, wonderfully clean, like beautiful. You're so beautiful, you know that.
She's a cutie. Like when you see her up close, and like her face is just adorable. Like she's this kind of like it's like a Cinnabon, literally. Okay, it's very sweet. You know it's bad for you, but you just can't help it anyway. That's like her. She's got the Cleopatra eyes going on.
Got her eyeliner on.
Yeah.
She's ready for the party.
Curly tail.
Party doesn't start till I walk in.
But I can tell you one thing, in terms of Georgie, the once she's let go of her past issues, and we've done a lot of work and the rest of it, when people see her now, they smile.
Yeah, good.
Because what they see is the real Georgie. She's calm, she's happy, she's contented, she's excited, she's boisterous, like Ruru, like likes to play and run around and the rest of it. So, yeah, people smile all the time. You like that?
She's not bad. I think she likes this
She
one
likes
better.
the other one better?
I think so.
And you wouldn't actually like pet them, or do you?
Well, there's the smaller stones that I would do that with them. I
Like
think that was
actually,
too jagged. Yeah. Sometimes they'll just go up and sniff it. Like, let them, look at some of the other ones.
Oh,
So there's all kinds of other stones.
Oh.
Kind of hard to see. That's a smaller rose quartz. I just don't want to drop any because we've got vultures here.
She's very, very
Look at them all.
fast. Oh, yeah.
This one's solidite. What a beautiful green. Yeah, I'll just hang on with them.
Yeah, they just think it's something to eat.
And citrine is for abundance.
Abundance.
Yeah, abundance,
She
prosperity.
wants the abundance because she wants a
Yeah.
lot to eat.
Yeah. Yeah, they're beautiful stones, and so just make sure you clear them now and again. If someone else is holding your stones or playing with them, even with the animals, you can just rinse them underwater, put them in the sunlight. It's almost a way of communicating with your animals. So you lay them all out, and you see which one they gravitate to, and then you go, "Oh, let's see what that one is again." Right?
Yeah, look it up.
And then you're kind of connecting with them in a different way.
Oh, totally.
You're like listening to them and what they need because they know what they need. And they're often telling us too. We just have to listen a little bit better. And you're doing the raw food is like how much you love them and you think that's your idea, but it's probably theirs. So
Oh yeah.
It's been their idea,
I'm
right?
sure. I mean,
it just took you a little while to get around to it.
I've been a skeptic of raw food for the longest time, and the more research I do, and the more people I talk to, the more I'm thinking it's the way to go. My next challenge, and again, I don't want to dilute your podcast, but the next challenge is going to be: can you do the same or less than kibble?
Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, and I got a really creative approach to it to figure out. I have a question for you, and maybe it's Georgie asking a question, but is there something that Georgie would like to say to her future soul contract
I'm coming.
recipient? I'm coming. That's what she's saying.
Yeah, right away. I knew where you were going, and so they'll chime in halfway through the question. It's my job.
Crap.
I'm coming.
Talking over me.
Yeah, that's sometimes how it comes through, but that was the first thing. Let's see if she wants to say anything else.
So the lessons are, don't really dwell on her past or the situation that brought her to being put up for adoption.
Can I stop you?
Yes, you can.
So I do that all the time, and I always say that. I preface it in a reading. I say, I'm going to interrupt you. If I get information, I just want it to come to me. So I'm going to go. So when you present her, you have to make sure you've put that past stuff in your mind. Like, so you're presenting her to someone who's a prospective owner. Okay. You have to put that to bed, at least in the back of your mind, until the conversation is broached. where they're asking about it for the sake of their learning and not out of fear. They're going to be asking out of like, I love her so much. I love where she's at. Now help me understand her past so that I can be even better for her. Like be a better owner for her. Okay? Mm-hmm. So you don't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. And that's the only time you should really be bringing it up, in your mind or in your voice or in your heart. Absolutely. So she wants you to make sure you kind of siphon that away a little bit and work on putting that in a little bit of a black box. And just work on the now and the future. And the only time that past stuff is I'm sorry, I'm repeating it. It's just like, I think it's being like...
It's important.
It's very, and it's coming down as being very specific. Mm-hmm. You need to siphon that off. And it's like a you thing. It's like pointing at you, going, do that for me, okay? Because she's eager. Like, even in her dialogue in the email reading, she's like, I'm excited, I'm looking ahead, like there's forward. Why? And asks, why are we even looking at my past again? Like, what are we doing here? It's your heart. Right now, it's not just came through. It's like something going on with your heart. Like you're just feeling so much for her, but feel for her in the right way.
Yeah, that's a very...
Because I feel it in my heart. She's giving me kind of like heart cramps a little bit. Like I'm feeling an achy heart, and I'm feeling your achy heart.
Yeah.
I think by way she's trying to show me through you. It's so weird how they do it.
Hindsight is going to be 20/20.
I think so. I think you're going to learn a lot from just our dialogue about her. From that too.
Absolutely.
Huge
and from the information that you gave in the email reading and from our conversation today, it's really helped me to take a fresh perspective on it'll happen when it happens. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It'll be a good one. It doesn't matter how long it takes as long as it happens.
Mm-hmm. But it's going to happen. I think that's the trusting and the believing that you kind of got to get on a little bit more on board with.
Right.
Because there's too much doubt in your mind. And that's why she wants you to siphon off that piece of it. To stop thinking about the past. Because the past is really tainting your beliefs here. That was big for me because it was like talking a lot about your journey together.
It does look like a ball here.
Oh my God.
And she does unravel it.
Oh, I love it. Oh.
She picked that one out of the whole toy box.
I love that.
It's good, eh?
Yeah.
Not like we planned that.
No.
I think so. There's an instinctual part of me that wants to protect and shield the dogs from the pain and from the heartache and disappointment.
But Joe, you have to remember that you're not like everyone.
No, I know.
And you have a talent in and of yourself to be able to I'm going to use the word to rehabilitate animals. And that's part of the love that you have. And that's the compassion. And that's the added connection that a lot of people actually can't even manifest or create with their own animal, which is okay. That's not part of how they're calibrated in this lifetime, okay?
Yeah.
But you have this gift, but you also have to learn how to siphon off. And Georgie speaks to this in the reading. You have to learn how to siphon off her feelings from your feelings. Because you literally meld into this, into representing her so much. You're worried about her fears. You're worried about her rejection. You're worried about her emotions.
Yeah.
And at the same time, she's feeling everything you're feeling.
Yeah.
So you got to help her out by try not to feel that, or at least, okay, no. I lied. You got to feel everything. Scratch that. You do need to feel your emotions, but you have to pass through them.
Just let it go.
Yeah, and let it go. And
like the cleansing.
Just like we had a conversation yesterday about letting go as quickly as possible. Why? Yeah. To make room for something better.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, you're right. No, I wholeheartedly, literally 100%. And the irony of it all is I literally coach people on how to do that with their dogs.
Yeah, but I'm the same. I have a harder time. I tell people, this is what's going on. I'm third party. It's so easy to be objective. But then all of a sudden you're in it and you're going... Oh.
And the thing is, and we'll talk about it later, but I think where it hits home is that at some point, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but myself personally, I only speak from my own perspective. Everybody at some point, or maybe a lot of people, have the experience of being abandoned
and rejected.
Yeah, by people that are, supposed to care about you, right? So I think my problem is I might have too much empathy
for that,
right? Because I know how painful that is, and she's not. Look, Georgie's happy. She's having a great time. She's like on vacation. She's with the M&M. She's loving life. She's getting off leash. She's like doing all this amazing stuff, and she's. The interesting thing is once you peel back all the fear, anxiety, and the rest of it that used to dominate her personality. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't say personality, her behavior. Mm-hmm. The problem is a lot of people will judge a dog by its behavior and assume that that's their personality. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So people would look at Georgie and be like, that's an aggressive dog. And that's all they would see of her. Mm-hmm. And really, that's not Georgie. That's not who she is. Mm-hmm. So once I peeled back the fear and she was able just to be herself, it's like I actually got to know Georgie for the first time once I started working with her, because all I had ever seen was this this behavior that dominated everything else, would completely overshadow any other aspect of her personality coming out.
Yeah. But I think what you said is true to what she said, is that she's got an undertone of her personality that is sass and is fun and really playful and has quirks. Let's call them quirks, because they are. Yeah. And then there's stuff that she's looking for a leader, and that's what she found in you, is to show her the way.
That's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. All your support makes a big difference. Very much thank you to Meg, the Modern Day Dolittle, for coming on the podcast and helping to shed some insight into Georgie. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see more podcasts just like this, subscribe to the channel. Till next time, if you love your dog, take them for a walk. Thanks and take care.